Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee if you're new here. Thanks for stopping back by. As you can tell from the title, we gotta get a little deep. We gotta have a heart to heart. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. I told you in my previous video that I'm gonna be making a video solely about my little boy. His name is Michael and he is 3 years old and he is energetic. He keeps me and his dad on our toes constantly, daily. There's never a dull moment with this guy. He is our little guy. We love him so much. Well, we love all our kids dearly. Each and every one of them they bring their own special little thing, and we love them, and we enjoy parenting them. I'll give you Michael's backstory, little timeline, and I'll start from his birth. Michael was born via C-section. All of my kids were born C-section, so I pretty much knew the process that I would have to go through. I pretty much knew the procedure down. I knew what to expect. Went in, he was delivered. He was 8 pounds, 11 ounces. He was my biggest baby. I'll fast forward a little. Going through the first year, he did crawl, which was a little delayed. He walked a little after one. He began walking a little after one. I didn't stress it. Transitioning over to drinking out of a straw and just eating textured foods within that year, he didn't really like it all. Michael is nonverbal. He has not spoken one word yet. No mama, no dada, no more, or just a small talk babies have. What really hit me was when we went to his pediatrician for just a routine milestone. I feel like it was like, I guess I would say it was a milestone appointment. And we went in, she gave me the sheet. I started reading, and a lot of the things that I read, it was no. Would he point when you look? Michael, at this point, he wasn't even responding to his name. And it was like a lot of different other things on the milestone checklist that now at this point I started kind of freaking out because I was like, I guess I just didn't realize how many milestones he wasn't hitting. Because in my mind, we're home. I kind of, know him. I feel like everything was just okay. But until you get that checklist, took me back. It took me back a lot. And I started freaking out. So while we were there, I told his pediatrician, like, half of this stuff on the list, matter of fact, over half of the things that's on this list, he is not doing. Freaked out on her a little bit. I told her my concerns. She recommended that we maybe get Michael tested for autism. I couldn't process that in the office, so I had to go home and sit on that. I told her, listen, I'll give you a call back and we'll talk a little further about how we can move forward. But right then and there, I was not ready to have that conversation. And I went home and I was like, let's just give him a little bit more time. Maybe, I guess deep down, that was probably me telling myself, like, you just need some more time. But let's give him a little bit more time. He'll develop more and he'll hit milestones. It may be just a little delayed. Months passed and I felt like he still wasn't really hitting the milestones that he should be hitting. And at this point, I pretty much settled myself like, okay, I think we do need to get him tested for autism. That took a lot for me to get to that point. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot for me to get to that point because I was horrified because I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what this meant for him, for us. I didn't know what his future was gonna look like. And before I spiral on you, let me just reach back out to his pediatrician. She referred us to an office to get him tested. I'm not sure if this is how every office is when it comes to testing for autism, but the wait was well over a year. That's a long time. So I was like, okay, at this point, they didn't give us a date. They were just saying, listen, it's going to be over a year. We'll reach out to you whenever we have or either a cancellation or an opening. So I was like, okay, cool. Never really, months passed, never really heard anything. So I was just like, ah. So our pediatrician said, listen, in the meantime, I'll refer you to speech therapy. Got into speech therapy. Again, that was a wait. We were on a wait list for that as well. A couple of months went by. Got the call, and he started his speech therapy. From there, I told him my concerns about him feeding and, of course, not speaking. And they also suggested that maybe he'll be good for occupational therapy, which it was a waiting list, but we eventually got in. So now he is doing speech and OT at this point. I'm just, in my mind, I was like, I need some more. I just want to know what's going on so we can help him further. So I started reaching out to some people that were in the area that could maybe test him. Once again, they had a wait too. Their wait was 6 months though. And they actually gave me a date to come in. So I was like, let's go ahead and do that. I still kept my other date. Well, I was still waiting on the other people to call me, so I didn't call and cancel or anything. I just was like, whoever comes first, well, we'll just jump in and we'll go. So we get to June 1st. I walked in horrified, did not know what to expect. Michael was ready to go. He went in there, he did his thing. Like, he did things that I didn't know that he was even capable of. I was shocked. I felt like maybe I'm holding him back because I just feel like because you're not speaking to me, then you don't know what I'm saying, but we'll get into that later. Walk in. She does the test. Michael does his thing. He does great. So about a week went by, and it was time for the appointment. Got in there, and she handed me the papers diagnosing him with autism. And you know how someone's just talking and you like hearing them, but like their voice fades out. You're just like sitting here in your thoughts. That's pretty much how it was. She was explaining, going over the paperwork, but in the back of my mind, I was just like, I couldn't hear anything that she was saying. I was just trying to figure out, like, what in the world are we going to be, what am I going to do? Like, what do I do? I'm so lost. I don't have any, I just started to spiral. Left the appointment, got in the car, and called my husband. Okay, now please hear me. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with anyone on the spectrum. I'm saying that I was just horrified because I don't really know anything about autism. I don't know the levels. I don't really know the different aspects of it, and that made me really afraid. I am scared because I don't know, and it freaks me out because Michael he's the only one in my family that has autism that I know of. In my whole family line, cousins, immediate, like, so I felt like no one would understand, and like I didn't really have anywhere to turn. I do have people in my corner, but at the time I just spiraled because I was just horrified. Let me hop back into, I'm like all over the place. Coming out of the office, like I said, sat in my car, spiraled, cried, called my husband, and he calmed me down. He has a way of calming me down. I love that about him because I know I probably get on his nerves. I know I probably get under his skin a good bit of the time, but I love him. He loves me. And he just calmed me down, drove back home, and me and him just had a heart-to-heart, just trying to figure out our next steps, which is kind of where we are right now. That's been a couple of months ago, and since then, the divine connections that have been coming into my life, it is like unimaginable, and I'm just very grateful and thankful to have support, and I'm not the only one. I'm not alone, and I have somebody that I have people that I can reach out to, and it's not the end of the world, which I feel like things that I don't understand or situations that I just can't explain, or I just feel like I don't know how to handle this, it's just not the end of the world. And I'm so grateful for the people that have blessed me and led me into the direction, because like there is so many different avenues to take. There's so many things to learn. I'm learning every day. I do have a resource that I do want to share. Someone recommended to me. I've never met this person before. This is how divine it is. I've never met this person before. I the person that introduced me, the mom to one of the little girls that was in my little girls ballet class. And we spoke here and there. Time passed. Reached back out to her. We kind of just started talking, and I kind of just like told her kind of where I was. And that's not like me. I'm normally like a private, introvert, quiet person. And so I don't really open up to a lot of people that I don't know. But I just felt like, at this point, I have to just let it all out and just put myself out there. So I told her about it, and she connected me to this other woman who has a similar situation. And oddly enough, our boys are around the same age. And she like opened me up to so many different things that I didn't know, and different theories that we should try. She just basically guided me. My whole prayer was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I need help, and I need guidance. And basically everything I prayed for was answered. So I do want to share a resource that she did recommend that I read, because like I said, I am the type of person that if I don't know about something, I will do my research. So the book's name is Uniquely Human: A Different Way of Seeing Autism by Barry M. I'm not gonna mess his man's name up. I'm sorry. Anyway, here we go. Now, I have not finished reading this, but I have started, and it's amazing. I have to read you a little bit of it, just a little bit. Autism isn't an illness. It's a different way of being human. Autistic children and adults aren't sick. They are progressing through developmental stages, as we all do. To help them, we don't need to change them or fix them. That was major for me, because things that I saw him doing, I felt like I needed to try to change him or fix him. Like, no, you shouldn't do it like this. You need to do it like that. So that was a big takeaway for me that I needed to hear. Another thing was, it says, in other words, the best way to help a person on the autism spectrum for the better is to change ourselves, our attitudes, our behavior, and the types of support we provide. I had to sit on that for about a week. I had to sit on that for about a week, because it was so easy for me to try to change or try to make him do the things that I consider like the normal things of, for example, the textured foods. He doesn't like textured foods. I'm just like trying to force it on him, like, you need to eat the textured food. And mind you now, Michael has a really, really good appetite. As long as the food is blended, he'll eat chicken, fruit, all his proteins, all his fruits, all his vegetables. He has no problem with eating any of that. It just has to be pureed. So in my mind, I'm like, you need to eat textured food. And there's nothing wrong with him eating his pureed food. He's eating. I have to stop forcing him thinking that he needs to do certain things in a certain way in a certain timeline. So when I read that made me feel like, okay, I need to take a step back. I don't need to try to change him. He's my little man. I love him so much, and he's learning. I'm learning, and we're growing, and this is a journey. I have to say, this is a journey. But I feel like that with all my kids, though. I feel like even with my oldest too, each child that I have, they bring on certain challenges, and I'm the type of person where I know I can be very hard on myself, And I feel like I do beat myself up a lot. And I sometimes lay awake and I'm like, ah, dang, I hope I did this right. Or I hope she's okay. So I know I am hard on myself. I have to acknowledge and I have to grow within myself. What does this look like for homeschool with Michael? Right now, I can't give a definite curriculum. I can't give like a definite answer because right now we're still in the process of getting him. He's in speech and he's in OT, but we also want to maybe try to get some more therapies. The most that I can do on my part is continue to get education and to continue to do research and do my best to understand him so I know how to parent him. Well, me and his dad knows how to parent him correctly. When it comes to schooling, I'm going to be very gentle and very soft with my approach of teaching him. Something that we discovered about him lately is Michael does love numbers a lot. He loves watching numbers and he loves listening to you count to him. So I'm going to try my best to try to find things that going to help him count. He's very like my girls, he's really hands-on. He does love puzzles. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll kind of dive in and doing some puzzles. Reading, I continue to read to him. I'm going to do another video of some of the resources that I purchased for us to try with Michael, and I'll keep you posted. But for the most part, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what's going on with him and my ideas of homeschooling him and what that will look like, which I'm not even still sure. So I do my best with him to just like take it day by day, because not I will get overwhelmed and panic. I feel like that was a lot, but it feels good to talk about because at least I can talk about it now, because at one point I couldn't. So that is Michael. That's my little guy. And until next time, I will see you guys later.